My name is Dale Carrister. I'm a longtime member of the Easton Lions Club, and I'm here with Al Provost. Al is a fixture in Easton, and more importantly for our purposes, is a Navy veteran. Al, thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate taking your time. I know you are a very busy man. So if I understand correctly, you are what, 59 years old? Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Maybe a little older than that. You and me both. So tell me a little bit about where you grew up. It wasn't in Easton, right?
No, I grew up in New Bedford, and I attended a New Bedford Vocational High School. And I got my training partially there in the industrial arts and welding. That's where it started.
And so you said you went to the vocational school, and you could just talk just a little bit about some of the training that you had there?
Well, we had the training, the welding and the fabricating, and also industrial arts, blueprint reading and that type of thing. So knowing how to make things from the blueprints. So that's how it started.
And you ended up joining the Navy. When was that?
I joined in 1953.
And if I understand correctly, there was a history of service in the Navy in your family?
Yes, there was my father and my uncle, which was a commander, and a career man of 32 years. And my dad did almost 18 years. But my dad was more in the trades, not an officer.
And at the time you joined, was the Korean War ongoing?
Yeah, yes, it was ending pretty soon after that.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about generally the kind of service that you had in the Navy. What did you do?
Well, I started in the Navy. I had started on a minesweeper. That's where it started.
And that was what was the name of that ship?
USS Albatross.
Okay, and let me just see. I think we have a picture here of that one. Yeah. And is this the other one here?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, yeah. And tell me a little bit about what that ship did.
Well, it was an experimental minesweeper. We had some of them. We had scientists on there, and it was a training vessel for mines. And that's where I brought up learning explosives. I went to school for explosives and the mines, and knowing how to blow them up and cut them to bring them up so that the snipers could hit them and blow them up.
This sounds like a slightly dangerous work.
Well, it was, but it was a training program at that point, and that was part of the training. And then after that, I ended up going to a repair ship.
And what was the name of that ship?
That was a USS Pandemus, an ARL-18, which was a converted LST.
What's an LST?
That's a landing craft, which the front doors open up, but they converted that to a repair ship, and every type of trade, machinists, welders, pipe fitters, you name it, that's where you got your training. And
did you also get that training while you were serving on the ship?
I got all the training there, pipe fitting, welding, and then they sent to me many schools. And then the last school I went on that ship was a salvage diving hard hat school. And from there, I was transferred to a salvage tug.
And what was the name of that?
USS Atacapa, ATF 149. I think
we have a picture of that as well.
Yeah.
And how long did you serve on that ship?
I served about 2 years, and then I got out.
Okay. And what type of work did you do on that ship?
I was a diver and repair work, welding, besides.
Okay, so you have a picture as well that we're going to show with a diving suit, which looks a little different from the kind of divers that we see today. Can you talk a little bit about the type of diving that you did?
Yeah, it was a hard hat. The deepest I went was about 100 feet. And it was, we had a crew that helped me. It was a two-man crew, which operated the oxygen or whatever gases that I needed. And one of them would be also the control of the welding when I needed, or whatever, by telecommunications, I would call.
So you were doing underwater welding?
Yes.
And what type of, tell me a little bit about that type of work.
Well, it's all repair work. It's a different procedure. The procedures of doing that is completely different than above water. The complete suit was everything was about 190 pounds, but you needed help to get over the side.
And help to pull you back up, I presume.
Yeah, when you get back up. And then they had a lifeline where you would hit it if the communications didn't work to tell you, you know, up above to pull me up, you know, see. But I made a few dives on repairs, you know.
So how long overall did you serve in the Navy?
I served 4 years.
So from 1952 through 1956?
No, I actually got out in 57.
57, okay.
Yeah.
And what did you do next?
Well, from there, with the background that I received out of the service, really made a career for me in civilian life. So when I got out, I started to work on the pipelines, on natural gas pipelines and oil lines, but mostly natural gas. And as time went on, because of the training that I got in the Navy, I used to do hot taps, what they call hot taps.
And what is that?
Well, meaning that the lines have had gas in them. And then we would connect them, the new lines to the new lines, the old lines to the new lines. So they would have what they call bottom outs, and but it was welded on the gas lines while they're hot. We call them hot taps. So they're under pressure when you're welding them. So I did that, and I understand how to do the inerts, purging of the lines before welding and that, because I learned that in the Navy. I learned how to do all this stuff. So it had been a good career for me, and I did that. I started out.
Where were you doing that? Sorry for interrupting, but in what area? Was this in the New England area?
No, I was all over the country. Not spotly. It was spotly done. And in the end of my career, I was in Pennsylvania. And then prior to that, I was around Boston Gas, Commonwealth, Bay State Gas, Algonquin, Tennessee, up in this area. And this was a career for me. And I did that for, well, I've been in the career for 60 years. But as the career went, I retired, sold the business, got bored, and started ornamental iron, because that was a hobby that I did as a hobby. But
and what do you mean by ornamental iron? Just describe that.
Well, you know, railings and spiral staircases, and the property that I own here in town, it has a spiral staircase as a location area.
What's the name of your business here in Easton?
It's called SP Enterprise.
And you're right next to Fernandez?
Fernandez Lumber, yeah. And that's how it all started. And prior to that, I owned the hardware store in the town, which was owned by G.E. Sawyers. It was a plumbing and hardware business. And we owned that. We had a plumbing business there for a while. And then we sold that. And
that's where Paint, Rust, and Pixie Dust is located now?
That's right, exactly.
And you were mentioning to me before that there used to be a movie theater on the second floor?
Yeah, that was a movie theater upstairs. And there's a lot of history there.
And when did you move to Easton?
I moved here in 1963.
Okay, and what brought you here?
Well, what actually brought me here was a central located to do work in Boston, Providence, the Cape. It was an ideal location. And then the education here was good, the school system, which was another factor. And it was a wonderful journey here.
What was Easton like back in the mid-'60s?
Well, I thought it was very nice. My children had a nice growing up here. We had horses, and it was very nice. It was very tough, family connected here, very family connected. And my children had a nice upbringing, better than being in the city.
Yeah.
So it's been very nice. It still is.
And you've been very active in various community organizations and veterans organizations here in Easton. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I been involved with the Masons here in town, and you know, back in the day. And then I was very involved with, as at the end, with the American Legion.
So tell me a little bit about some of the other organizations you've been involved with.
Well, I was involved with a lot of unions, you know, and that type of thing. But I also was involved a lot, mostly with the Southeastern Regional School on the advisory board. I felt put back into helping kids. And I also, we had a program at the hardware store. My manager had a program with the school, with some of the kids at Oliver Ames that we hired. And it was a good productive thing because some of those kids turned out to own businesses in town, which I thought was quite a thing, you know.
And you've also been active with some of the veterans organizations in town as well?
Yeah, American Legion.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to do a lot of activity with them. I try to get that.
And as you look back at your service, is there anything you'd like to sort of let the newer veterans know just about, you know, being a veteran, and is there any kind of message you'd like to get across to folks?
Well, we really need more people to respond and be members. Some of them are members, but they don't respond to the meetings or, you know, get involved at all, which is very difficult for the people that are running it. You know, we really do need veterans, but I hope that somewhere down the line they come forward, because we're going to lose the VA if we don't do this. At some point, that's going to happen.
So we need the next generation to carry on.
We really do. And it's difficult for the younger boys now with the, you know, young families with the sports and that, and I understand this. And, but it would be nice if you could spend like maybe a day or a month or something like that would be helpful, you know. It's times have changed, as you know. Yeah. It changes, time has changed. You know.
Well, I really want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and speak with us today. And more importantly, I want to thank you for your service. Thank you, Al.
Okay, nice to meet you too, Dale.
Okay.
It's a pleasure.